Hi everyone, my name is Vlad, and I'm a software engineer at Seqera. You might be, if you know MultiQC, you might be more familiar with Phil Yules doing this talk for the past many years. But for the first time, Phil delegated part of his MultiQC work to someone else, so I joined Seqera last August to work on the project. And now I'm going to share with you what we've done over roughly past 7 months since the last summit in Barcelona. To those of you who might be unfamiliar, MultiQC is a command line tool that aggregates results, outputs from various scientific tools into one single human-readable and portable HTML report. And these logs can be whatever standard outputs or CSV files or structured JSON or other HTML files. And MultiQC would understand how to find them, how to parse them, how to match sample names between different analysis stages, and what to add into the report in terms of metrics and plots. And to show an example, assuming you have a data folder with outputs from some workflow, can it be like a Nextflow workflow? You can just run MultiQC on the data folder, and as simple as that will output an HTML file that you can open in browser. And it's going to have tables, plots for different tools that MultiQC supports, and there's going to be all sorts of interactivity, and there is a toolbox which you can use to export plots and rename samples and hide samples, highlight samples, to do all sorts of things. And it's all defined by modules, so-called modules, which correspond to all tools supported by MultiQC. And today there are 146 supported modules. And what's really great, roughly half of them are contributed by the open source community. So now I'm going to go over the new and shiny things in MultiQC that we implemented recently. One big change is the new plotting backend. Historically, MultiQC used two plotting engines, HighCharts for interactive plots in HTML, and Matplotlib for static images like PNG, PDF, SVG. And now we have Plotly to do everything. That was allowed. We can do that because Plotly comes with a Python library and with a JavaScript library as well. So now we can use roughly the same code base to support both scenarios, which makes MultiQC code base more maintainable. And besides that, Plotly is completely free and open source, so it helps us maintain MultiQC as free and open source long-term as well. So apart from making our lives easier, this change comes with a few user-facing improvements. Namely, there are new plot types, a violin plot and a box plot, which you can add in your module with a code snippet like that. But what's really cool is that now every table in the report has a button that you can click to convert the table into a violin plot. And it makes the data more readable for large data sets. It's a common theme that MultiQC is undergoing this year. We are moving towards supporting larger and larger data sets without sacrificing the portability. And violin plots scale better with the number of columns, but they especially scale well with the number of samples, because for really large data sets, you still get the range, and you can see the overall distribution of your data, and you can even have like interactive points for certain samples of interest or outliers. So so for really large data sets, the reports are going to be easier to load in browser. But so far I only talked about optimizing displaying plots and reports. But However, running MultiQC on large datasets can be also heavy on CPU and memory, just in terms of running the Python command line tool. So we, this year, we really focused on making MultiQC faster and solve several performance bottlenecks. And the latest release is over 2 times faster and takes over 6 times smaller memory footprint. And a lot of these changes were enabled by several significant contributions by Ruben Warderman from Leiden University, from the MultiQC community. So Ruben helped us implement a new file search algorithm which made MultiQC find for relevant files over 2 times faster. Smart tricks to clean memory after modules made them 30% more efficient in terms of memory. And for some key modules like FastQC, which is used in almost every bioinformatics analysis, the improvement is tenfold. Caching frequent function calls made it slightly faster as well. Some smart tricks to optimize how we export data for plots made it 30% more memory efficient when writing the compressed HTML to disk. And a new compression algorithm made the data compression 10 times faster with almost 0 memory footprint. So all these improvements in different stages of MultiQC run combined made it really faster and much more memory efficient, which allows us to run it on larger data sets. And we didn't only refactor for performance. This time we embedded a library called Pydantic to validate user configs and things like custom content. The common problem that our contributors used to face is that MultiQC is configured via YAML files, and like user modules take dictionaries which are completely unstructured as a configuration. And with Pydantic, all of that is now Python classes. So all modern IDEs will highlight any typos in configuration or missing parameters right in your code base. And even if old-style dictionaries are used or some configuration is loaded dynamically, MultiQC will now show useful, helpful messages, error messages in the terminal, which also helps to debug problems. So now we validate run configs, which helps running MultiQC, plot config dictionaries, which helps developing modules, and custom content. And that refactoring led us into the last big improvement that I'm going to talk about today. We hugely refactored MultiQC to enable using it as a library and import it as like any other Python library in scripts or interactive environments like Jupyter. So we added various functions that allows users to control the flow on how the reports are generated and completely customize them in script interactively. So for example, like this parse logs functions just loads the data in these folders in memory. So users can poke around it, like list modules that MultiQC managed to find, list the samples, list data sources. They can even get the parsed data in memory and re-summarize it in a different way, like change it and show plots right in a notebook cell, or save those plots to disk in interactive form or just a static file. Users can even create plots from custom data right on the fly and show them or save They can even create a completely custom module interactively as well and insert it into their report in a specific order, and then write that report to disk with all these changes applied. And they can even embed that report in a notebook cell if they want, because it's completely portable. So to wrap up, I'll show you a small demo of what those improvements allowed us to do. And this is an interactive app in the platform called Streamlit for creating interactive dashboards. And MultiQC here parsed some data and added some plots. And the app preserves all the interactivity. But what's really cool is that changing the underlying data almost instantly reflects in how the plots look, so they get updated on the fly. And we can do that because all these platforms like Streamlit and Dash and Shiny, they support Plotly natively. And now we also have Plotly as a first-class citizen in MultiQC. So with that, I'll wrap up. And this is our team. Myself, Phil Yules in the center, and the large community of amazing open source contributors who we are really grateful to. And thank you for listening.